Welcome back to Go and Preach. I am your host, Mr. Justin Stewart, and I am so glad that you have come back and you're still listening, all 10 of you. So this is such a great time that we can come and stir you up and encourage you in evangelism. And for the past number of sessions, we have been talking about church and parachurch outreach, like how to reach out to your community. And we spent quite a long time talking about open air evangelism and street preaching. And we're going to move on now. We're going to talk about some other things. So today's lesson, we're going to do Gospel Tent Crusades. Now, some of you out there may be old enough to remember a time in our country where they used to hold what they called camp meetings. And quite often they'd set up a big tent, and Billy Sunday was real good at this, only he built like a tabernacle. And they would have meetings, for a certain number of days, whether it was a week or 2 weeks. But the main focus of the crusade, the outreach, the revival, whatever you want to call it, was to preach the gospel, to get people to come into the tent. Now, we did this quite a lot while I was in Africa. When I was a missionary in the country of Lesotho, the church organization that I was working with got a vision to reach out to the community. So they bought a tent, a 200-man tent. And we would go into villages. And we'd bring a generator, and we'd bring musical instruments and sound equipment. We'd set up the tent, and every night for a week or 2 weeks, we would have services. And it was quite amazing because, now I know it's different in Africa than it is here, but in a village where they don't have electricity and they don't have anything going on, they're not watching Grey's Anatomy or The Good Doctor. They see a tent with lights, and they hear music and dancing, and they all flock to the tent. And we saw some amazing things. We saw miracles. We saw people, demons being cast out, people getting healed. We saw people falling down under the power of God and speaking out in tongues like a machine gun. It was amazing. God really did some awesome things. But you can do this even in America. A number of years ago, down in Corey, Pennsylvania, I came across a church that had a big tent outside. And I wanted to go and check it out. So I went and I listened to the service. There's a preaching of the gospel. There's a praying for the sick. And this can still be done and be used in fruitful ways today. So I will encourage you as a church, think about maybe the possibility of having revival services. It doesn't necessarily have to be in a tent, but I do know, I know a man here in the Chautauqua County who rents tents and chairs. And I also know another man in Chautauqua County who told me his church owns a property that's just a big flat vacant land, and we would be happy to let you use it to set up a tent and hold a meeting. Even my parents have a desire to someday set up a tent in their yard and actually hold revival services. So think about it, pray about it, and maybe this could be one area where you could reach out into the community. So that's it for today. Please come on back next time, and we continue to see how we can reach out in our community. God bless you. See you next time.